adventure in Pipeman on W.A.S.P Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio. I'm very excited about this interview because it's with an old friend of mine who is one of the most amazing musicians. And I thought back then and still do now, one of the most amazing bassists ever. So let's welcome to the show, Joey Vera from Armored Saint. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you for having me, Dean. It's good to see you again. And it's an honor to be here.
I know it's kind of amazing because we first met because I saw this cool ass picture in BAM magazine and went to this show on Halloween with you and W.A.S.P and Headshaker, and now here we are. Was it like 40 or more years later?
Yeah.
And again, we're going to talk about you and W.A.S.P touring. So,
touring, yeah.
It's so wild to me and so cool to me. What does it feel like? That's the first thing I want to ask. To be touring with W.A.S.P after all these years.
Well, it's great. I mean, we did a tour with them in 2022, and it was just us and them. And that tour was a big success. It did great. Tons of shows sold out, and even internally, the two bands we just got together with them, and they're such great people. Everyone in the band was just a total sweetheart. Everyone was great. Their crew was amazing, treated us like gold. So for us, it was just like a really, really, really great time. So when they asked us to come back and do this tour with them, we were super stoked and honored because, it was just such a great time. It's a cool package. I think it gives people a glimpse of, across the nation, what it was like, to see these two bands back in the early 80s when it was first starting out, really. So, we're super stoked, going back out with W.A.S.P and looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a flashback to a time, as put in your own words to me in conversations in the past, of not leaving your zip code.
Exactly. No, we're really excited to go out on this. It's going to be cool.
Yes, and so how would you say this tour is different than the last one you did in 2022, or is it just kind of a continuation?
Well, I don't know about W.A.S.P necessarily. Although what's different about W.A.S.P per se is that they're doing their entire first record in its entirety. So they're playing the whole first record, and then at the end they're doing probably some best of hits after that. So that's really cool. And I haven't seen the production, but from what I hear, it's going to have shades of what they used to do back in the old days, which, if I remember correctly, that involved like fire and blood and meat and
Yeah.
So like I'm like totally into it. I'm totally into seeing what they're gonna do. And for us, we're just going out and we're just gonna give people the best of. It's great for us because this run in particular has a lot of cities that we've either never played to ever.
Wow.
Or played in a very, very long time. I'm talking like 30 years long time. So
Wow.
So for us, it's really cool because we get to play these places that we just haven't been able to go back to in a long time. So our set's going to be varied depending on where we are. if we're playing some places that we have played in the last 10 years or something, we'll probably mix it up. We'll probably throw in, we have some deep cuts that we have rehearsed, songs rehearsed and stuff like that. But when we get into places like, Calgary and places we've never played, we're going to be playing all the hits because those people have never seen us. So we're just going to do jam-packed big hits. And, we have so many hits.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember when you kind of like tested some of those hits on us back in the day, and it was like, it was so funny. Like some of the songs that really did become hits where I saw you play for like the first time, like as a test.
Yeah. I mean, you probably saw us play, Can You Deliver and March of the Saint for the very first time.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
So yeah,
And I'm still playing that song every so.
I know, right?
That's all right.
And it's funny because I mean, to me, I don't know. To me, it just fits you guys all being together. Like during the years, you've gone and done different side things and gone different ways. But I think just to me, the way you guys look in my background is the way it's always been. Armored Saint.
Well, we have a long history together. You already know this, but maybe your viewers don't. But John and myself and Gonzo have known each other basically since the third grade. And then when we got into junior high school, in seventh grade, it's when we really became super tight friends and started basically. We had a gang, but like a group of people that were friends,
Yeah.
and it was us, and Phil was in there too because Phil went to the same school. So that's what we just we started discovering music together at the same time, and so we were friends a long time before we even started the band. So that's something that's a lineage that goes very, very long and deep. And of course, Jeff Duncan came in the picture when we were going through some changes in the mid '80s.
Mm.
So Jeff's been a longtime friend since day one as well. So it's like you said, that this is who we are, and we're proud of the fact that it's all the same members. We don't take that very lightly. We take it with a lot of power and strength. Gets us through the tough times. But this is the thing that we just hold pretty sacred, and I
Yeah.
think I think that it translates. I think people get that, people understand that, and I think that they appreciate it. It's not like Armored Saint broke up and then, you
No.
know, John Bush went solo and he's calling it Armored Saint. So it's like Armored Saint and four other guys, you know. So that's not what this is about, So we're pretty we're pretty honored and humbled that we are able to do this with these same group of people.
Well, and how rare is it too? Like,
Pretty rare.
even with Jeff, I mean, he might as well be from the very beginning. Although I miss Dave a
Yeah.
lot, and Dave was a great human being, but
Yeah.
you couldn't have found somebody better to fill the spot.
I don't know, and we joke about it sometimes. Sometimes John introduces the band members on stage and stuff, and when he gets to Jeff, he says, "All right, here's the new guy," and Jeff's the new guy, but he's been in the band for 38 years or something like that. So it's like,
Right?
here's the new guy, Jeff Duncan. But the fact is if Dave Pritchard were still here, we'd have three guitar players. We just would, because this is the family vibe we have. So we'd be
And,
like
and
Maiden.
and you can right, and you can always tell too. You can tell that you guys are just having fun up there and having a good time. And after doing it for this long, if you're not having fun, you're in the wrong business, because this is a horrible business if you're not having fun.
Yeah, that's you are speaking the truth 100% loud and clear.
Right? So how how does this all come about that it comes round circle? Originally, how did it first happen that you and W.A.S.P in 2022 played together? And then of course you felt the vibe that you had back then, so you're doing it again. But how did it initially happen?
Well, to be quite honest, I believe that it came through our booking agencies. At the time, if I'm not mistaken, at the time we had the same booking agent. And
Ah,
so the W.A.S.P tour was going out. It was an idea, it was a concept. They were looking at dates and routing and all that sort of thing. And then Blackie, I think it might have been Blackie's idea to bring in a band as a support act that would help sort of help in this sort of
mm,
40-year celebration, which
yeah,
is what it was billed as in 22. It was billed as the 40-year anniversary. So it just so happened that we were also going through a 40-year anniversary in 22. Our band was formed in 82. So it was a sort of a revelation to our booking agent. He said, "Hey, you know what? I think Armored Saint." And Blackie was like, "That's perfect." So um, that's how it all came to be. And then um, it was a really cool thing that they just decided to take not a third band. They just had us and another, and us, and it was just us and W.A.S.P. So uh, that made it even more of sort of a package tour, um, reflecting that 40-year anniversary. So yeah, it was awesome. And it was great. And I'm guessing that they had such a good feeling about that experience touring with us that when they were looking at dates again for this tour, that they came back to us and said, "How about let's do it again?" So
nice.
yeah.
Well, that's important too, because like you have to be out on tour with a band that you can gel with and that makes sense. And so I think it's just like putting on an old pair of your best sneakers that you never want to get rid of.
Yeah, that's Armored Saint pair of old sneakers.
Well, what's even better would be if on the 28th at the Roseland Theater, you come out in Mentors hoods.
Oh, that's right. That's what we did the first time you saw us on
Yep.
Halloween. We all came
Yep.
out with black hoods.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it was cool.
that would be funny.
Yeah.
What else can we expect from after this tour is over? What else can we expect from Armored Saint?
Well, we're writing a new record. About halfway done. I have about 7 songs or so demoed, and
Nice.
we're continuing to write, and we're trying to get in the studio in the spring of 25. That's our goal. Hopefully, we meet it. And yeah, so we have a new record deal that we re-signed with Metal Blade earlier this
Nice.
year. So looking forward to making another record with Metal Blade, and yeah, so we've been hard at working, working on new music and getting that done. And we may even do some writing while we're out there on tour, although it's rather difficult to do.
Yeah.
But we might, we're just going to keep writing and concentrating on new music. And like I said, our goal is to get in sometime in the spring.
Very cool.
So other than that, 25 is looking kind of light for touring because we want to making the record a priority.
Yeah.
So as of now, there's not a whole lot going on. We are doing 2 shows though. We're playing a big festival in Brazil called
I was going to ask you
Bangers
about that.
Festival.
I'm going to look into press for that. When I saw you on that, I was like, and I saw the rest of the lineup. I'm like, I know somebody in Paulo too that has been begging me to come there. Perfect.
You should come down. I've heard it's a great festival. It used to be called Summer Breeze, but they changed the name of it. It was basically the same Summer Breeze that they have in Germany, but they licensed the name of the festival, but it's since changed names. But it's the same festival. It's it's a big festival, 25,000 people plus, and it should be really great. This will be our second time in South America. We have a lot of crazy fans down there, so we're really looking forward to playing there. That's on May the 2nd or 3rd, I forget. And then
it's May 2nd.
May 2nd, okay. Then the following weekend we come back and we're playing at Sonic Temple in Columbus, which is obviously another big festival you're aware of.
Yeah.
And we don't get a lot of chances to play American festivals, so this is a real treat for us to be on this festival. So we're super stoked to be on that, and that's on May 9th. So those two shows, as of now, are the only two live shows we're doing in 25.
Well, let me tell you one thing. Like, I've been doing all the Danny Wimmer festivals for years, and yes, I've been bummed out. I've never seen you guys at a Danny Wimmer festival.
Yeah.
And Sonic Temple, since COVID, like, they've changed things around to where they weren't doing interviews. So they're like, we'll give you a media pass, but there's no interviews being done. I'm like, yeah, then I don't need the media pass because I'm there to work. But this year, if they decide not to do interviews, I'll still get the media pass so I could I could see you guys there.
Yeah,
because that would be cool as hell.
Absolutely.
And that one they say in Brazil, like for the rock metal community, that the fans just go crazy at these festivals in Brazil.
It's nutty. It's really nutty. I've only done, I don't think I've actually played really in South America. I've only done club gigs or small theater gigs. Yeah, I did a bunch of shows with Anthrax. I did some shows with Fate's Warning, and Armored Saint did one short tour of South America. But you're absolutely right. They go nuts, like crazy nuts, like you need a police escort kind of nuts. And
wow!
I'm not exaggerating. They
I
go
know you're
crazy because they don't get a lot down there, and so whenever bands go down there, they're really appreciative. And so I expect the show to be really sick.
Yeah, well, your show is always sick, so. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try to get one of these W.A.S.P tour shows. Maybe I'll do the Calgary one because one of my co-hosts, she's up in Calgary and she covers some festivals with me. So maybe she's been begging me to come up there. And so maybe I'll call her up and I'm like, okay, I'll come up there because there's a show there and we'll go to that show.
November 1st. Come on.
There it is. Well, I'm so stoked about this, and man, I'm stoked about Sonic Temple too. That's pretty cool, and well, I hope it keeps going, and I can't wait for the new album. Everybody's
awesome.
If they don't know you guys, they need to check you out because you guys are like the coolest band, and of course, you have always reminded me of Steve Harris right from the very beginning. So they got to check out you on bass because you kick ass. And
thank you very much.
Thanks once again for being on the Adventures of Pipeman, my old friend.
Of course, Dean. Thanks for having me as always. Always great to see you, and thanks for the time.
Anytime, brother.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Hey, this is Joey Vera from Armored Saint, and you are listening to Pipeman on W4CY.